Hello, I am Scott the Foodie, and today we have a celebrity chef in the kitchen. And that celebrity chef is Chef Mom. And Chef Mom, what are we making in the kitchen today?
My homemade Italian meatballs.
Alright, our ingredients consist of chopped meat, or as some people may call it ground meat. I call it chopped meat. We have 4 pounds of chopped meat. For every pound of chopped meat that you have, you add 1 egg. So 4 pounds of chopped meat, 4 eggs. We have garlic. We have parsley. We have Romano cheese. Pecorino Romano. I just call it Romano. And breadcrumb. With the breadcrumb, we diced up regular bread and we just added milk. And you add milk to the point where you want to make this consistency. Breadcrumb is very important in the meatball because what it's going to do is going to give it a nice, moist texture in the meatball.
That's almost like an oatmeal consistency.
There you go. And almost like an oatmeal consistency. Okay, the reason why I'm using a mixer for this is because chopped meat is very cold. And old school, there's a lot of you out there, we used to do it by our hand back in the day, and our hands would be really cold and they get really numb. I used to do it when I was a kid. But we're just grounding the ground meat, or chopped meat, with the egg. Okay, we're about to use our mixer here to mix up some of the ingredients. We mixed our eggs with the chopped meat. We added garlic. You're going to add 8 teaspoons of garlic. And with that, you're going to add 1 cup of Romano cheese. And you're going to add 3 quarters of a cup of parsley. Okay, what we've decided to do, we have our mixture ready to go. What we decided to do was make some meatballs that are gluten-free and the meatballs that have the breadcrumb in it, which would make it non-gluten-free. So, you take it out and you're gonna roll it in your hand. I'm gonna make a couple big ones. This is a great thing. You can make some. This is a great thing about making some that are homemade. You can make some big, you're going to make some small. So these are gluten-free. So there's one. These do not have the breadcrumb in them. Okay, what we decided to do was make these gluten-free meatballs quite large. And the reason why is so we can be a little more versatile. We can cut them in half and we can put them on a meatball sandwich. Or you can, if you want to, if you really wanted to get creative, you can pat them down and almost make a burger out of them as well. Now it's time to make the real meatballs. For 4 pounds of beef, we've added a half a loaf of regular white bread with our milk mixture. Okay, we have another celebrity chef in the kitchen here working with us to make these great Italian meatballs. Chef Dad. Chef Dad, show them how to make a perfect meatball.
Right there. You roll them in your hand, break the size of the meat, and you just roll.
Yeah, roll them up. Use both hands. And when you're cooking in the kitchen, do not, I think I said this before in another one. Do not be afraid to use your hands in the kitchen, okay? Wash your hands, but do not be afraid to use them. Cooking is all about getting your hands in, it's feeling, okay? Alright, so I wanted to make a point about the parsley that we use. There's 2 different types of parsley that we use, that you can buy in the grocery store. Flat leaf parsley and curly parsley. Mom, what is the difference between the different types of parsley?
The curly parsley has a better flavor than the flat leaf parsley. I guess maybe that's why they call it flat leaf.
Okay.
Because it has a flatter taste. The curly parsley gives it a stronger flavor. And that's the difference.
Okay, we have our finished meatballs that we're about to throw in the oven. The ones over here are the ones that my father made, and you can see they're very consistent. They're about the same size. A little variation, but the ones over here are the ones that I made, and I purposely made them different sizes. And what that does is that adds a little character to the meatball because they are homemade, and you should, you know, take pride in that they're homemade, that they're not all the same size. One thing I failed to mention with the ingredients was salt and pepper. We did add salt and pepper to the mixture just to taste. Here, we're about to put the meatballs in the oven, and we have our oven at 300 degrees. And you're going to put them in there for about 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. And the reason why you want them at a very low heat is because you do not want to dry out the meatball. You put it at a low heat for that amount of time, and keep your eye on them. Because, don't forget, they're homemade. They're different sizes. So keep your eye on them. And 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, and here is our cooked Italian meatball. And as you can see, they are very tender. And they came out fantastic. I can tell without even cutting into one. And the great thing about these, there are many different ways that you can utilize meatballs in whatever recipes that you're making. So, Mom, what are the different ways that we can use these in different recipes?
Well, what is the most popular naturally is spaghetti and meatballs. But I also put it in my lasagna because the meat is so flavored, it gives the lasagna a great taste. I get the meatballs and I kind of like squish them so that they become loose, and then I layer it on the lasagna pan. You can also make a baked casserole with the meatballs with either ziti.
Hold on. They're very tender. They're fantastic. They came out magnificent.
Right,
Very
and
good.
that's because you cook them on a low heat for 20 to 30 minutes at the most. But remember, the heat has to be low to maintain the moisture.
I'm going back for more. I'm sorry. These are good.
You can also bake it with rigatoni or ziti, whatever your preference, with some provolone cheese, ricotta, and mozzarella. And of course your sauce and bake it, and that comes out very nice. It's like a nice casserole. You can do it with ricotta, as Italians like their ricotta. Not ricotta, risotto.
All right.
Italians like risotto, and with the meatballs that in the risotto,
These are really
it
good.
adds a certain touch. Meatball soup, and there, as I said, meatball hoagies. Meatballs are just very versatile. It's something that you can do so many things with, and because of the seasoning of the meatball, it gives everything a special flavor.
You know what, too? We used fresh ingredients for these meatballs, and they are what you want when you make a meatball is very tender, juicy meatball. That's it. Simple. So I hope this improves the quality of your happiness.